What violations can lead to the cancellation of a red notice? Interpol. Welcome. We are from ILA, Interpol Lawyer Associates, the most important international criminal law firm in Europe and Italy. Don't we like it? Mentioning our cases in videos, we don't need to. The world's most important news outlets talk about ILA's work. If you want to know the cases that ILA has successfully handled, just type it into Google in the press review, and you will find articles published by the most authoritative media on cases resolved internationally. But let's see when a red notice can be cancelled. If you are the subject of a red notice and want to cancel it, you need to know that there are specific violations we can contest to obtain a removal. Let's see what they are. Violation of Article 3 of the Interpol Statute. Article 3 prohibits Interpol from intervening in cases of political, religious, racial, or military nature. And many governments often abuse the red notice to persecute political opponents, dissidents, human rights activists, journalists, and entrepreneurs deemed inconvenient by authoritarian regimes. So if a red notice is motivated by such persecutions, it must be cancelled immediately. Violations of the European Convention on Human Rights, ECHR. And therefore, a red notice cannot be used to facilitate extraditions that violate the ECHR. Here are the main articles we can invoke to obtain the cancellation. Article 3 of the ECHR. No one can be extradited if they risk torture or inhuman treatment. Article 6. There is no extradition if the individual will not have a fair and impartial trial. Article 8. There is the right to private and family life that cannot be violated by an arbitrary red notice. 3. Absence of a valid arrest warrant or insufficient evidence. A red notice can therefore be cancelled if the arrest warrant is not compliant with international standards. The notice is based on weak or non-existent evidence, or the requesting country is using Interpol for political or personal purposes. 4. Violation of the principle of non-refoulement. Interpol cannot maintain a red notice if its execution would result in the violation of the principle of non-refoulement, which is the prohibition of extraditing a person to a country where they risk political persecution, unfair and arbitrary trials, inhumane treatment, or even torture. 5. Misuse of the red notice for economic and personal reasons. In some cases, governments or private individuals attempt to exploit Interpol for resolving commercial disputes, financial issues, personal vendettas against former officials and entrepreneurs, and debt recovery through false accusations of fraud. These practices are illegal, and legally they must be challenged immediately to obtain the removal of the red notice. So what can you do if you have a red notice? So if you have been flagged by Interpol, you need to act immediately. Request verification of your entry in the Interpol database. Request the immediate suspension of the red notice to avoid arrest, and file a petition for the permanent removal of the notice with ILA, Interpol Lawyer Associate. Thank you. Number 1. Experts in Europe for the cancellation of the red notice. If you have a problem with Interpol, call immediately, and you can find it here in the description of the number. And also subscribe to the channel to stay updated on international law and extradition.